I'm not naive enough to believe that I'm your only Medicare YouTube relationship. I fully expect that you are seeing other people, and I actually think it's wise that you find a few of us that you connect with, and then you watch whatever you need to help with your Medicare decisions. Now, I'm gonna share my 6 favorite Medicare YouTube channels, and they're all my competitors. Maybe this is a silly video to make, but I've always been of the mindset that whether you use us or someone else, I just want you to be informed about Medicare so that you don't fall into any of the major traps out there. You do need to know that I am not getting paid by any of these channels. I am not getting any sort of compensation or kickback coming from these channels to do this at all. In fact, I don't know most of them. And with the exception of 2 of them, I don't think they know who I am either. There are 2 channels where I do know them relatively well, and I'll clearly indicate that. I do have some disclaimers at the end of this, so please make sure that you get to that point. All right, let's start with the channel where I do know those who are running it, and that would be my good friends with Giardini Medicare. Joanne and Cameron are wonderful people with a Detroit-style directness to how they deliver information that I absolutely love. Joanne is a bona fide TikTok star at this point with a great following and a lot of interaction on specific questions, while Cameron tackles the YouTube side of things. Now, the next channel would be another person that I do know, and that is Andy with Medicare Mindset. He does such a great job of breaking down the complex processes of Medicare. When I first started my channel, I came across his videos, and I tried to model my content around his factual, non-alarmist delivery, and even mimicked his overall setup at the beginning. Super great guy, and we both get to experience the same surprised looks on people's faces when they meet us in person for the first time, because we are both quite tall. Sitting behind a desk doesn't show the world that I'm actually 6'4", and Andy may need to correct me, but I think he is 6'4" as well. Moving on to someone that I think is quite a bit shorter than that, but I don't actually know because I've never met her, that would be Stephanie with Abt Insurance Agency. Her information is super solid, she seems very genuine, and she tackles a variety of different Medicare topics. Maybe if she sees this, she can confirm or deny the streak of 6'4" Medicare YouTubers we have going on right now. Next, we have Danielle at Boomer Benefits. She and her team have a ton of resources, not just videos on YouTube, but a massive Facebook group. Her website has a bunch of useful articles, and she's even written a book on Medicare. I met her once on a group Zoom call years ago when I was just an itty bitty little channel. She probably doesn't remember me at all, but her content is super great. Next up, we have Christopher Westfall, one of the larger Medicare YouTube channels out there. He's been doing this a long time, and I'd probably say that it's one of the more polarizing channels. I say polarizing because Chris isn't afraid to call out anyone. The government, large insurance companies, doesn't matter. I shy away from politics in general, and he's willing to dive into all kinds of nitty-gritty topics. Similar to Danielle, we met on a group Zoom call years ago when I was nothing more than someone just trying to figure out how camera works. Also, like Danielle, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't remember me, but there are few people on this planet who are as passionate about Medicare and making sure that the system and all of the entities involved work for you, the person using it. Okay, the last channel that I'll mention in this video, and probably the biggest channel in this space, is the Medicare School. I've never met him personally, but Marvin and his team invest a lot into putting out a lot of content, and I have to admit, I'm super jealous of his overall shooting location and digital whiteboard. I use an actual whiteboard in several of my videos that just fits here on the desk, and one day I hope to be cool enough to have a whiteboard like his. There are so many other great channels out there, so this is by no means an exhaustive list. I'm sorry if you have a solid Medicare channel and I didn't make it to you. Now, here are some disclaimers about this video. Since I don't know most of them, this is not an endorsement of their business. I just like their channels and their videos. I think they put out a lot of good and interesting information about Medicare. I don't know how their sales process works. I don't know all of the products that they offer. The second disclaimer is that we all have different styles. Just because someone has a dramatically different style than me doesn't mean that I don't think that they are putting out useful information into the world. I think we're all trying to deliver similar messages with slightly different ideas of what you, our viewers, are looking for. The last disclaimer is that these were not in any sort of best to worst order at all, so don't read into the order. I started with the 2 channels where I do know them personally, and then I went from there. If you've made it this far, you should probably also know that there are several channels out there that I am not a big fan of. I, of course, wouldn't want somebody calling me out by name to bash me and my channel specifically, so I'm not going to mention any of them by name. Just be careful. One took a video of mine and he must have transcribed the words into text, and then he released a video of him saying literally the exact same thing, playing it off as if it was his own video. That's not cool in my opinion. There are other channels out there that I think put out good information, but I happen to know that they're very pushy on the sales side and less on education and service. And there are also some other channels that I feel aren't presenting the realities of Medicare. They spread incorrect rumors and information, which just causes more fear and makes it harder for you to know exactly what kind of decisions that you should be making from a Medicare perspective. I'm sure that there are several out there who aren't the biggest fans of me either, and that's okay too. Let me leave you with this. I don't know that it's possible for any of us to completely remove any and all bias around hot topics like the US healthcare system. We all bring different perspectives. Some of our perspectives, including those I mentioned in this video, overlap more than others. Here's a little bit of my background so that you can better understand what helped shape my worldview around healthcare in general. I grew up playing a lot of basketball, and two of my teammates in separate freak accidents lost vision in one of their eyes. My goal was to be an ophthalmologist and invent a bionic eye so that my friends could get their vision back. Medical school was the route that I was on. I needed to take the MCAT and apply. This meant that I spent years in medical research labs and shadowing physicians of all types in hospitals and clinics. But along that journey, my wife and I decided to change plans. Later, I ended up working for a smaller pharmacy benefit management company, or PBM, that also had a small retail pharmacy. I worked with remarkable people doing their best to help lower the insane drug costs and bring transparency to the overall pharmacy world. I saw firsthand how they were demonized in the news despite trying to help others. From there, I moved to a private health insurance company that offered company plans, individual plans, and Medicare plans. Everyone loves to hate insurance companies, and there are examples of inappropriate actions, but there are also real people at those companies who give the go-ahead to pay insane amounts of dollars to make sure a member isn't ruined as a result of a hospital practicing predatory billing. The insurance company I worked for on many occasions didn't legally need to step up and pay certain costs, but they did, because it was the right thing to do. I worked for an insurance agency helping people like you with Medicare, and they have the best people in the world who will do the right thing for you because it's just how we should act as human beings. So with the time and the experience that I've had on the provider side, the pharmacy side, the insurance company side, and now my home on the Medicare side, I can attest to the fact that there are a lot of moving parts and there are problems with a lot of finger pointing. There are dirtbags in the world who take advantage of others, but there are also good people out there trying to help. I feel sorry for you, the person trying to figure out the Medicare and healthcare maze, because you have to wade through all of this. You don't know what's on the other side of this YouTube video or their website or a phone number. I feel the same way in different areas. I know nothing about cars, and every time I need to get an oil change, I'm terrified of being taken advantage of by the shop as they show me any car part and tell me how much more money I should give them. All I can tell you is that hopefully by us trying to show you how everything works together, it can help all of us have a group of people that can help you through this complicated program, help you feel better about your decisions, and help you feel better about the future. So whether you work with me and my partners, or one of these other channels, or any other entity out there, just make sure that they are acting with your best interest in mind, and let us do our best to help make your Medicare life a whole lot easier. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, this is the moment where I ask you ever so politely to do so. I have links to each of the other channels in the description of this video if you do want to follow them as well. My personal email is down there in the description as well if you need any help, and a video should pop up right here that YouTube thinks that you will like, and I will see you over there.